What is bilateral stimulation and how is it used in EMDR therapy? This is an article printed in Counseling Connections. What is bilateral stimulation and how is it used in EMDR therapy? Bilateral stimulation by itself is simply using something you can see, hear, or feel, and crossing the body in a rhythmic pattern. An example of this is butterfly taps. You put your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand on your right shoulder. Then you alternate gently tapping each shoulder in a consistent rhythm or pattern. Bilateral stimulation has been used for a very long time in different ways because it is found to be soothing to the body. And as a matter of fact, if you watch around you, you find that it is often built into activity that people find relaxing or things people do to clear their head. Bilateral stimulation can be used that you see, hear, or feel as long as it moves from side to side, crossing the body in a rhythmic pattern. Some common activities like walking, jogging, tapping on a drum with alternating hands like bongo drums, or when people are listening to a song and they alternate tapping on their legs or tapping their fingers on the steering wheel. How is bilateral stimulation used in EMDR treatment? Bilateral stimulation is used in EMDR therapy as well. An EMDR therapist may use light, sound, or touch during an EMDR session. Some therapists will use an EMDR light bar, which uses what looks like mini Christmas lights that move from side to side. Other therapists have plastic pulsars that the client holds, one in each hand, that alternates mild vibrations. Sometimes a therapist will sit closely to you with your permission and alternate tapping on your hands or knees. Finally, sometimes you may listen to music, chimes, or audio tones that alternate from your left to right ears. If it isn't something that is overly bright, loud, or uncomfortable, and your therapist will check with you to see if you are feeling any discomfort. If so, you can usually switch to a different method. As the message mentioned above, one reason why it has been used for decades in different ways is because it has been found to be soothing and relaxing. Another reason is that it activates both sides of the brain. And this is where EMDR therapy comes in. Why is bilateral stimulation used in EMDR therapy? EMDR therapy was developed in 1987 and has been researched and studied ever since. While people are sleeping, they go through a sleep cycle that includes REM sleep. The research has shown that during REM, your eyes will move from side to side. The current theory is because that allows the brain to activate both sides of the brain while processing information. Often with my clients, I give the example of when people are upset, worried, or sad. They will take a nap. After a few hours of sleep, they wake up feeling so much better and aren't really sure why. This happens often and may be because the brain is processing the upsetting information, which allows you to wake up with increased relief or clarity. I can say from personal experience that I've had many times where I was struggling with finishing a paper, homework assignment, a project, or something for work. I finally give up, usually in frustration, and go to sleep. In the morning, when I wake up, the first thing I reach for is a pad of paper, or these days, my phone. I write down ideas or information that is popping into my head, and clearly my brain was working on it in the background while I was fast asleep. EMDR treatment is focused on processing distressing memories, incidents, or emotions. That is what your brain naturally does while you sleep. So an EMDR therapist uses bilateral stimulation in various methods to activate that natural process in the brain with the goal of activating both sides of the brain. This allows you to process specific pieces of information that is causing you distress by moving it from one part of the brain to another, resulting in less or no distress with that specific memory, incident, or emotion. Interested in EMDR therapy? If you'd like additional information on EMDR treatment or are interested in seeing an EMDR therapist and feel that we might be a good fit, you can call or contact Counseling Connections.